My guests in profile tonight close are Pete Booth, a comedy magician, and Sean Murgaard, mind reader extraordinaire. And they have a show called Turning Tricks at the Brisbane Fringe Festival. The Brisbane Festival, of course, is on at the moment, but these boys are too out there for the Brisbane Festival. That's why they're at the Fringe Festival. They're on the edge, living dangerously like the Top Gun crew. Pete Booth and Sean Murgaard, welcome to the program. Good to have you here.
Thank you.
I can see why I made that mistake earlier, because it's actually written down here as Comedy Muso.
Oh, right. No songs in the show.
No songs? You're not going to play
songs.
anything? Where's your guitar? I was expecting an acoustic guitar. Yes. But tonight, and you've got a show called Turning Tricks, which... Okay, let's explain the title first up, because it needs explaining.
Right. Do you want to take that one, Sean?
Absolutely. So I guess we thought long and hard about a title for the show, and I guess it came from the subject matter, which is really about examining the sort of the psychics and the spiritualists and the mediums and things that have come throughout history and have kind of, I guess, spent time with the public and have, I guess, gained some notoriety for certain things, and whether or not that's true or not, that's up to people to decide. But we really go in and try to examine that from a rational point of view.
That's right. We look at the great scams and hoaxes of all time. So we start off with the Fox Sisters. Are you familiar with that name, Walter?
No, tell us about the Fox Sisters.
All the way back in 1848, these girls lived in Hydesville in New York. That doesn't exist, that place anymore. And in their house, they were making, there was banging noises coming from the house, and their parents rushed up, and they couldn't figure out where the noises were coming from. So they decided it must be ghosts. That's the logical conclusion to make.
That's what I think straight away.
And
I don't
then-
think possums.
No.
No, I just go straight
Exactly.
to ghosts.
Occam's razor at its finest.
Yes.
People flock to the house.
And why do they put the O in front of possum? What was with that? I don't know. But anyway, go on.
That's another show right
It's
there.
another story.
So people flocked to the house because they thought there were spirits dwelling in there. And they started asking questions of the spirits, and the spirits would rap answers, and it went crazy. It began this whole craze. Now, eventually, the Fox Sisters, these two teenage girls, came out and admitted it had been a hoax. They were actually cracking their toes. That's where the ghostly noises were coming from.
My producer can do that. She can crack bones.
Yes. She'd
very
be a good,
noisy.
good medium.
Yeah, she could be a good medium, maybe. I don't know. We'll get her in later, and we'll perform a radio-friendly magic trick with her.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Sounds good.
Good as we turn tricks. And in the poster for Turning Tricks, you're both looking very serious, and Pete, you're looking especially pensive.
Yes, that's my David Copperfield eyebrow.
Is it?
It's
Okay.
supposed to suggest mysteriousness and pensiveness.
I thought it was blue steel at first. I was wrong. It's not the first time. Brisbane Fringe Festival 2013 is on at your particular show, at least for the comedy section, is at the Archive Beer Boutique.
It
Nice.
is.
If you've got to have comedy
Oh, yeah.
anywhere, alcohol involved helps, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Yes.
It certainly helps the magic as well.
Makes the magic look even more magical.
Some people are amazed before we've even started.
And if you're wondering where Archive Beer Boutique is, put this in your GPS, 100 Boundary Street, West End, where a lot of the magic is happening for the Brisbane Fringe Festival, isn't
That's
it?
right. Well, the Brisbane Comedy Fringe Festival specifically,
Yes,
which
yes,
is
let's-
kind of an offshoot of the Brisbane Fringe Festival. And
It's even more fringe than the Fringe
That's
Festival.
right. How much fringe more can we get? And it's all happening in one big building, basically, which encompasses the Loft and Archive. So it's a whole night of comedy. It starts with our show at 6:30 and some other shows. Goes all throughout the night, and there's, I think, 9 shows on a night, and there's pretty much something for everyone.
That's
Yeah.
this weekend, isn't it?
That goes. It's
Oh,
been a
from
week and
tomorrow
a half.
night.
Yes, it's Saturday night is the final night. So
Yeah.
lots to do. 31digital.com.au/BFFC. That's the Brisbane Fringe Comedy. You can check it out there.
Could we just Google something?
Yes, Brisbane Fringe Comedy is the Google.
Terrific.
Yes.
Okay, we'll just Google that. And talking fringes, Sean, you seem to have cut yours back a bit since that promo shot was taken.
It is.
When you were a
it
long-haired
definitely
lout.
is. It definitely is a little bit shorter now. Ideally, I'm going to make it look a little bit more exciting when the show happens. But hopefully, people don't come and expect the
Yes.
wrong thing from me.
It's a bit more Colin Firth, Mr. Darcy there, isn't it?
That's. I didn't know that's what I was going for, but I'm happy with that.
Maybe you
I'm
were
happy with
channeling that. You were
That could be it. I think so.
You didn't even realise. And when did you develop your interest in magic, Pete?
I started pretty young, about 5, actually. Expo 88 was the thing that did it, actually.
Really?
That was the big showcase of all the great performers. Of the
Now I
world.
feel really old. He's telling me he was 5 when Expo 88 was on.
But I think that's where the seed was planted. And just recently I've been performing a lot of comedy clubs, things like that. Yeah.
Okay. And you've performed all over the globe, haven't you?
Probably as far as New Zealand, yes.
Oh,
all over the
okay.
globe.
Well, we've got a trip to New Zealand we're giving
Oh, there
away.
you go.
Yes, we have. So stay tuned, ladies and gems. The 16-day highlights of New Zealand coach tour for 2 from Grand Pacific Tours. So we'll have a cue to call for that one later in the lounge.
Oh, excellent.
Listen out for that. People will be going off to the Bay of Islands, Milford Sound, Queenstown, Wellington, Rotorua, places where you can have mud baths, all sorts of fun. And Pete, you're now performing, now that you're back from your globe-trotting tour of New Zealand, comedy clubs in Australia.
That's right, yes.
Where's your regular haunt?
Albion Comedy Club.
Albion Comedy? Oh, that's a good one. I know that one.
It's great, yeah. There's a new show every week. Occasionally at the Paddo and some places like that. Every so often around the trap you can go to my website and all the dates are there and everything.
They have a good feed down at the Albion Comedy Club too.
Oh, it's great.
So you get the show, the meal, the whole deal, and then they invite you back for your birthday. And one thing leads to another. Who's the man who normally hosts? He's the MC of the Albion.
It changes.
Changes a bit? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Anyone specifically?
Oh, there was
you had in mind,
there was a regular guy there for a while. He's fairly well profiled in Brisbane. Can't think of his name right now, but yeah, very funny. And it's just great. It's a good night out.
It is, yeah.
And we all need a laugh. Let's face it, after the election on the weekend, we need a laugh, don't
That's
we?
right, exactly.
And you do corporate shows as well, private parties?
Yes.
Bar mitzvahs,
No bar mitzvahs.
weddings,
as of
parties,
yet.
any kind of thing.
That's right, exactly.
Yeah. But you also write for the paranormal, for Skeptic magazine about the paranormal.
That's right, issues psychics, that kind of thing, yeah.
Are you skeptic yourself?
I am. I'm so skeptical I can hardly believe it, as they say.
Well, maybe we should get you to sit in one night when Bob's crook, because we do a thing on Tuesday nights called the Paranormal Panel.
Yes.
We have a UFO specialist with us, and we have a psychic therapist with us,
Okay.
in Tino and Kev, respectively. And Bob Bruce is our skeptic from Australian Skeptics,
Yeah.
who meet on a regular basis at the Red Brick Pub, as any good skeptic would meet at a pub.
That's right,
It
exactly.
makes sense, doesn't
With
it?
the spirits, as they say.
Yes, it's the only time spirits will cross a skeptic's lips is at the Red Brick Pub. And you've also lectured on the subject, haven't you?
Yes, I've done some stuff for Griffith University. I did a show called, lecture/show called The Barnum Effect, which is similar kind of themes to what we're doing in this show. So it was
The
scams.
Barnum Effect.
The Barnum Effect. That name comes from, have you heard of cold reading? Does that ring a
Yes,
bell?
yes.
That's the technique that psychics can use to make it look like they have incredible insights into your life. And one of the terms in that is the Barnum Effect, which is basically making quite broad, generalized statements that relate to everyone.
Oh, and Barnum as in the circus.
Yeah, well, he used to say a good circus should have something for everything, something for everyone. So that's what that statement refers to.
Yes.
And it's incredibly convincing. It's like listening to a song, and you're sure that the artist was writing it specifically for you.
Yes.
It's that kind of thing, but done in the guise of being psychic.
I think I've had one or two of those people as guests on this program
Yes,
over the years.
yes,
Some
yes.
very big names in the world of psychics and that. And then you found your way on stage and everything, and as you said, the Barnum Effect, you're covering the secrets of psychics and Victorian seances. I can't see any ectoplasm coming from you at the moment as we speak.
No. Oh, that is. Oh, I love.
We discussed that
I love
last
the world
night.
of ectoplasm. Did you really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
the
did,
cheesecloth coming out of the mouth.
Absolutely, yes,
They're
yes.
great photos. Google image ectoplasm. There's some hilarious pictures.
There's some good stuff around. We'll talk some more with you boys in just a moment. Sean, I want to get deep inside the mind of the mind reader next.
Sounds great.
That's what we're doing tonight as we turn tricks. It's a new show for the Brisbane Fringe Comedy Festival. Not to be confused with just the Brisbane Fringe Festival or the Brisbane Festival. That's just so mainstream. It's 9:16.
Evenings for Renaissance Retirement Living. Enjoy exciting events every month with friends at Renaissance.
It's 9:19, and we have the stars of Turning Tricks with us, Pete Booth and Sean Murgard, who actually wrote the Turning Tricks production, and directed by Thomas Calder, who, as luck has it, turns out is the son of a radio mate of mine, Ian Calder,
Yes.
who I worked with a couple of years here at the Big BC. and is very well known to radio people everywhere. So, Thomas, I didn't think the apple would fall far from the tree.
Yeah, no, it definitely didn't. He's currently in a band that's taking up most of his time.
Right.
But
Called the Calderettes.
It's
I know his uncle, too. I worked with his uncle.
Right, yeah.
So it's a small world,
It
after
definitely
all.
is.
But I wouldn't want to paint it. Sean Murgaard, you're a mind reader.
Yes.
And when did you get into this? We've discovered already Pete took up his magician stuff at age 5 at Expo 88. Thanks, Pete. I was only 6 at the time. But anyway, yeah, go on.
For me, I guess it was always a kind of a lifelong thing. Getting a magic set as a child for a Christmas or birthday present was always the best present you could get. And I guess from there, I really kind of discovered it and realized that it was more than just simple card tricks and things on I think it was around about Christmas when I was 13. And then from there, the magic thing, I really enjoyed and still love performing. But something drew me to sort of another side of magic, which was mind reading and mentalism in this case, which is, I guess, just being able to use your 5 senses to create the illusion of a sixth. And using those techniques, I think you can get a little bit more out of the kind of standard techniques of magic, and especially in this show, be able to make people second guess their own beliefs, perhaps. So
do you use some of those Barnum effects we were talking about before?
Absolutely. There's a lot of kind of suggestion and magic and psychology that goes into a lot of the elements of things that I do. And so in the show, it's sort of a little bit of Pete explaining about these techniques, and then to a certain extent also using those techniques in order to entertain and possibly fool the audience as well.
And someone was foolish enough to invite you to perform in Toronto, Canada at one stage, weren't they?
Yes.
That would have been fun. But
it really was, yeah. I got invited to perform amongst 31 of some of the world's top magicians and get to perform there, which was utterly terrifying. But besides performing in front of these people that I've looked up to for so long, it was a great experience to be able to meet them and get into their brains as much as I like to get into other people's.
Have you seen that new movie about the magicians?
I did. You see it? Yes. Yeah. We saw it together actually. Pete and I.
Yeah, very good. Oh, he was your plus one.
He was. Yeah. It was a hot date after rehearsals one night, I think.
You were just desperate and dateless, Sean. Just admit it. So over the past half decade or so, you've moved from traditional magic tricks to this mentalism.
Yeah.
Now, is this anything like the Mentalist TV show with the Australian actor?
I guess it really sort of could be described in a similar sense. It's kind of it's all about perception in the way that you look at things, and I guess they take a little bit of artistic license on the show in terms of being able to, I guess, solve crimes. But in terms of the actual techniques and things, being able to look at things that normal people would, I guess, overlook, and it's really just about having a good overview of knowing what psychology, suggestion, and magic and techniques and things like that.
Did you study psychology at uni?
No, I've read a lot of little books and things that work into the kind of magic side of things, but it's something that I've always really become interested in. Is that?
I can feel it coming on now. Mind trick. I'm getting Griffith University.
You're exactly right.
Wow.
Yeah. That's impressive.
I've got it.
Incredible.
I'm very good,
I have no idea.
That's good.
How
All
that's
right.
possible.
Would you like to perform a radio trick tonight on my producer, Joe, who's going to be a willing assistant? Thank you, Joe, for doing this.
Okay.
Very good of you. You're live now.
I feel like a bit of a guinea pig.
There's a reason for that. Start running on that little wheel we've set up in the studio.
Okay, I'll have to get fit.
You can tell them what I have in my hands right now,
It's
Walter.
a pack of cards with
pack of cards.
jack at the front.
Jack at the front, and they are all different, yes?
Yes, is it 52 cards?
It's 52 different cards,
Right.
exactly. Now, I'll tell you what, okay? You can be our third-party skeptic, okay? So if you see me doing anything...
Hang on, no. You're testing it out on Joe, not me.
Yeah, I'm getting the psychic vibe off you, though, Walter.
Yeah, the psychic vibe is you're testing it on Joe.
I'll tell you what, though. Just shout out stop as I'm going through.
Okay, stop.
Right there. Now, you stop me on that card. Now, you can change that card.
Sorry, I can't see.
Yep.
I've got computers in my
That's the
room.
one.
Sorry.
You can change that one if you like.
Right, okay. No, that's fine. I'll stick with that card.
You're absolutely certain.
Yes.
Now, that was fair, yeah? That was fair?
Okay.
I'm going to bring that to the top. You can take that, Walt.
Right, okay.
Okay, now, that's the card you chose. Once again, all different. Each and every card is a different card.
Right.
Now, were you compelled to stop me at that card for any reason, Walter?
Yes. Mathematically, I'd worked out that should be the middle card.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
I think there was more to it
Is
than
there
you
a
actually know.
skeptical angle to this?
Strangely enough, I think you were compelled, and we know you'd be compelled to go for that card. So can you reveal what it is?
Okay.
Freely chose, yeah?
I can tell
Yep,
people
tell
what
everyone.
it is. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I have chosen the 7 of spades.
Okay, now would you be amazed if I told you that Sean and I knew you would stop me on the 7 of spades? out of
I
all those
would be
cards?
amazed. Yes.
We did. Thank you very much. That's the trick. So, turning tricks is...
That's the trick.
You probably want proof, don't you? You
I
probably want proof.
would like proof.
We brought proof. We were so certain that you'd choose that card
Right.
that we made a prediction, and we made sure this prediction was printed over 180,000 times and seen by over 200,000 people. But at the time, they probably didn't know what it was about. I have a copy of the Courier Mail. This is from today. Yeah, you can confirm. Can you go to the classified section, thanks?
Classified.
Page
Where's that, up the
66.
back, isn't it?
Yeah, somewhere in the middle, I believe. And for those listening at home, if you have your own Courier Mail, you can,
You can
also
check this
confirm.
as well, apparently.
Yes.
66, is it?
Page 66 of the classifieds.
Yes, down towards the back.
Yep.
Just before the sport.
Just before the sport.
Right.
Now, down the right-hand corner of page 66 of the classifieds, you may see something that strikes you as slightly odd. Have you seen it yet?
Oh, you're a freak.
I see a smile across your face. If you're at home, get the Courier Mail, page 66 of the classifieds, in the right-hand corner. Can you
Oh,
read
my
out what it
goodness.
says?
Tell us what it is, Walt.
It says, thanks, it's in the celebration section, thanks, Cannon Hill, thanks for choosing the 7 of spades, Walter. Come see the show to find out how we knew you would. And remember to visit turningtrickshow.com.au. That is brilliant.
A perfect
I'm not
prediction.
making this up, ladies and gentlemen.
And the
Fair
7 of
dinkum.
spades is printed, right?
It is,
there.
and there's a printed photo of the 7 of spades. That is a... Come on. How did you... We'll have to come to the show to find out.
That's right.
That's today's
absolutely.
paper.
That's today's paper. You can check it
Can
at
I
home.
keep
if you
the
have-
paper?
You absolutely
Please.
can. It's an ordinary paper, $1 from the store. Yep.
That is... And everyone got that paper today.
Everyone,
did.
page 66 of the classifieds, will have that prediction in there, so you know that we didn't change it or anything like that last minute. And keep the card as well. Keep the
Can
card.
I keep the card as a
Souvenir
memento?
card.
I will. That's fantastic. I will keep that in my collection. That's... How the heck? Okay. It's too much to deal with. Now, what about Jo? I thought she was going to be a victim of something.
She's our mediator. Did you see anything dodgy
I
going on?
I
there?
have to be honest, I looked and I didn't see anything dodgy going on.
Oh, you were
Walt
watching
picked the
closely?
card. I was watching closely. Walt picked a card and he kept that card and...
This is why you
Yeah.
insisted I pick the card, because
That's,
you've...
well, I got no psychic vibes off Joe, unfortunately. It's all about you tonight, Walter.
Should I take that as an insult?
Not at all.
He was getting other vibes, just not psychic ones. But we can't talk about that right now. Turning tricks. That's the name of the show. It's written by Pete Booth and Sean Murgard. They're also the stars of the show, directed by Thomas Calder, and you can see it at the Archive Beer Boutique on the 12th and 13th of September. That is freaky, guys. You're just doing my head in right here. We're going to have to leave it there. Thank you very much for coming in and
Thank
being in
you.
profile
Pleasure.
with
Thanks
us.
for
Yeah,
having
and
us.
good luck with the show. I'm sure it'll be huge for you, especially after that little trick. Wow, that's bizarre. I've had all sorts of tricks played to me on radio over the years. That's one of the best ones. Good one, lights.